In this original 3-part series, we will embark on a journey to the human desire for sugar and the results of it. So do not forget to subscribe this channel to get the next chapter, and we are starting right now. Anthropologically, Columbus's journey to India was not only to reach the spices, but to reach to the area where he can grow sugar. Indeed, already on his second trip, Columbus is taking a sugar cane with him. And when he returns from his trip, he informs, "I went back and it succeeded! I found a place to grow sugar in large quantity. Only there is a problem, a tiny one. We need workers, lots of workers." The immediate solution was obvious: to subjugate the Caribbean residents to the task. But there was a problem with the people of the Caribbean. Most of them were already enslaved, trained by the Spanish, and transferred to Central and South America. And then came the idea of bringing slaves from the nearest place possible, namely to bring slaves from Africa. A well-oiled system was set up, which includes Muslim merchants who lived on the African coast that was entering into the mainland and kidnapped, collect or buy humans, leading them to shore, loading them on ships, and send them en masses as slaves to the New World. If the connection between sugar and slaves sounds strange to you, so here's the thing. In the year 1496, Columbus returned from his second mission, and in 1502, the first slave ship arrives to the Caribbean. And so we can see that sugar was a major catalyst for the discovery of America and also to create the phenomenon of slavery. The result is dramatic. The more sugar plantations and factories are established and more slaves are recruited to increase productivity, the price of sugar in Europe is falling down and the consumption is rising drastically. In Europe, two patterns of sugar consumption has created. One type of intensification or amplification of the sugar consumption. The lower class imitates the higher class and the need for more and more sugar. The lower classes begin drinking sweetened tea and consumes cakes and jam. Another pattern that has been created is extensification, namely the development of products that are sugary. Invented the sweetened milk, chocolate, candy bars and biscuits, and in fact invent most of the types of industrial food. Which is common to them is that sugar is very central component. And the result for this is stunning. In the years of the Industrial Revolution, about 80% of calories that the working class in England was consumed came from bread and jam and tea. They were eaten by the workers who worked in the mills and in the cotton plantations. All those were very sweetened, and there were the calories that were needed for work. The huge demand for sugar on the one hand, and on the other hand, the ability to produce, creating two powerful trading triangles. The first connects between England, Africa and the Caribbean in this way. Sugar is sent from the Caribbean to England, where it replaced with goods that sent to Africa and replaced by slaves on their way to the Caribbean to produce more sugar. A second trading triangle was created later, connecting between the Caribbean, New England and Africa. New England was a group of British colonies And to this place they did not transport sugar, but molasses. The molasses serves as a basis for the producing of rum. New England is turning to a huge rum distillery. Some of it exported to England and the other part to Africa. In Africa, it was replaced by slaves who transferred to the islands to produce more sugar. Half of the sugar is transported to England and the second part as molasses to New England to produce more rum. And we have two powerful triangles. The huge revenues from sugar caught the eye of other European trading empires. The Portuguese set up the sugar plantations in Brazil, but failed to produce a real economic competition. The French operate a similar system in various times, but they are defeated by the British on the battlefields in the ocean. In fact, there are claims that the Battle of Trafalgar, where Napoleon's fleet was defeated by the British Navy, was the point where the French are giving up from their intention to establish their own sugar empire, and the resources diverted to the cultivation of sugar beet that can be grown in Europe. One of the surprising results of this is the fact that until the 50s of the 20th century, the French consumed about 10% of the amount of sugar consumed by the British. On the next chapter of this chronicle, we will observe the 5 top revolutions that sugar was the response for. So do not forget to subscribe this channel and comment to this video. Thanks for watching, see you on the next.